say it's a right way, a wrong way, and a Holloway, and that's what Holloways do. We
It's
look
actually
out
great.
for people and all people. I mean, look.
Hi, it's Diana, and welcome back to Clay County Speaks podcast for our 7th episode. Today, we have another special guest with us, LaShonda Holloway, but most know her as LJ. She's running for the District 4 State Congress position, which covers all of Clay County, all of Nassau County, and Duval County west of the St. Johns River. She's running against the incumbent Congressman, Aaron Bean, and the community has some really strong feelings on that guy, and not really good ones. But we're going to be discussing LJ's policy ideas, stances, and answering some questions that we crowdsourced from her possible constituents. But most importantly, we're going to learn about LJ as a person. So if you liking what you're seeing so far, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever you got to do to get the word out on the social medias, do that. And we're going to frame these podcasts as discussions, not debates. So let's talk about it. Thank you so much for joining us today, LJ.
Thank you, Diana.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I'm happy to tell you about myself, but first I want to say thank you to you and Clay County Speaks for having me today.
Oh, we appreciate that.
Important.
Thank you.
Yes, and also to your crew, right? Notwithstanding any of that, I am LaShonda L.J. Holloway, and I am a 4th generation Jacksonvillian.
Beautiful.
And I have run for the 4th Congressional District against Aaron Bean more than once because it is a gerrymandered district. They redrew the maps. However, I want you to know that in 2024, 165,912 people voted for me. And I believe that they voted for me because not only am I the only candidate that has federal experience, but I think that I have a proven track record of being for the people.
Okay, beautiful. So what do you do when you're not campaigning? Let's get to know you for you. Like, what do you like to do? You know, what do you enjoy? What do you enjoy doing? Shopping?
No, I'm not at all a shopper. I am not at all a girly girl. I mean, I hate to say it. My mother shopped so much when I was a child. I think that I'm scarred. So I really am. I hate to shop. I hate to go to the salon. But, you know, campaigning takes me out of my comfort zone because people are hard on candidates. You know, they want to see your hair combed. They want to see you dressed. But the reality is my strengths are policy. I love to read. And in a perfect world, I like to travel. I like to read. Or just hang out at the beach with my flip-flops on. So I have a house, my family has a house on historic American Beach, and I like to just walk the beach, or grab me a good book, but I have not had the time to hold a book in my hand. I actually have Libby downloaded from the public library, and most days I'm listening to an audiobook, before I actually announced my candidacy. So I would say in the car now, I am literally trying to return phone calls or respond to texts. But in a perfect world, yes, I listen to audiobooks. And as a profession, I am a licensed arbitrator and mediator, licensed with the state of Florida. Okay. But I am partnered with Holloway and Young, but that's fast coming to an end because I can't run and work.
Oh, well, that makes sense. So wait, what kind of books do you like then?
So,
what's your favorite? Like, you have a favorite author? Oopsies.
So yes, so fiction. I like Beverly Jenkins. She does historical fiction. And for nonfiction, I have to say that I really do appreciate, positive books like Shonda Rhimes, and of course, my name is LaShonda, so I have an affinity for Shonda Rhimes. But her book, Year of Yes. So I believe this is a year of yes.
A
Can
year
you
of
say
yes.
a year of yes?
Absolutely. I like it.
Yes.
You said you also like to travel in like a perfect world. You got like a favorite place. Where's your favorite place you've ever gone to?
Yeah, so that's yeah, it's hard to put me in a favorite place. So I've gone to all six continents.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
that was
my
my goal by
dream.
30 to finish all six continents. And so I will tell you that Asia is my favorite continent, but my favorite destination remains South Africa. South Africa,
Oh,
yeah, South
cool.
Africa is the land of splendor. So it is my favorite destination, but my favorite continent is Asia. And on Asia, I put Bali in Indonesia and Tokyo in Japan. They are volley between number two.
Oh, that's awesome. I've never been to any of those.
Okay.
Maybe one day though.
Yeah, you will.
One day,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
I love
Yes.
my goal right now. I want to see all 50 states.
Yes, that's me. I am actually on number 46. I
Oh,
have four more.
wow.
I have four more to go, and so that was my goal to finish all 50 states by 50. But that didn't happen because the what do you call it?
The pandemic?
The pandemic would not let
Oh.
me be great. The pandemic would not let me be great. So, and my problem with getting to North Dakota is Frontier flies out of Jacksonville, but they only fly one day out of a week to North Dakota. So I don't need to be in North Dakota for 3 days or a whole week. So the next flight would not, I'll have to be there for longer than I planned. So it's a little logistics that's prohibiting me from finishing the last four, but I plan to do that.
Beautiful.
Okay.
I have faith in you. I think you're going
I
to
think
get
so,
there. Even
Well,
if Frontier
not while I'm
doesn't want to.
campaigning, but
No.
somewhere between
Eventually.
somewhere between victory and swearing in.
So yes, exactly. That's beautiful. All right, so let's get into it. So what's like motivating you to run for office?
So what motivates me to run for office is, I believe that in this country, we teach our children the Pledge of Allegiance, right? And we say with liberty and justice for all. And the reality is America has not lived to her creed. That's first and foremost.
Yep.
And I mean, and it's kind of two-pronged because it's for the children. We teach them the pledge, and I want children to believe in this country.
Right.
And also, I want I want our country to be better than I found it. So that's what motivates me to run.
Beautiful. And have you always been a Democrat?
I have always been a Democrat. I registered, I think, when I was in high school. No, because I wasn't 18 yet. I registered my freshman year of college because I graduated at 17.
Oh,
so
nice.
I was a
Okay.
freshman in college when I registered my first, yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. So Democrat all the way.
Yes.
All right. Now, what policies are you trying to implement on this time running against Aaron Bean?
So the policies that are most important to me really are centered around affordability and accountability. So with affordability, absolutely we need affordable health care and access to health care. So many Americans are uninsured or underinsured. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, to go from paying $400 a month to $1,200 a month, and I no longer have a PPO because I had to, shall I say, settle for a plan to be able to afford a plan. And you may or may not know that I had a brain tumor where I couldn't walk or talk, and I have to get a MRI, every 6 months, and those are very expensive. But the protections of the Affordable Care Act protect people who have pre-existing conditions. So as a result, affordable health care is number one on my platform.
Yes.
The second one is affordable housing. Affordable housing because too many Americans are renting, and the way that you build wealth in this country is through home ownership. However, in the 4th Congressional District, the median price of a home is $390,000. And, the average person, cannot afford a $390,000 home. I'm sorry. And in the 4th Congressional District, 51% of the citizens in the 4th Congressional District are renting.
Yeah. So and rent prices are absolutely skyrocketing.
Exactly.
What do you feel on that? Is there a possible way to do like rent stabilization for certain people? Because I know certain people just can't get a house.
So that's why I have depth and breadth of federal experience, but that's why it's so important at the federal level with HUD, Housing and Urban Development. We should implement policy that's national to make sure that you don't have, real estate investment trusts, going into areas and buying up properties and raising the rents. We have to make sure that we have national policy so that, yes, I understand capitalism. I understand that people are in business for a profit, and I'm not against businesses. Look, I'm a small business owner. I definitely want people to profit, but we should not exploit the poor.
Big facts.
Yeah,
don't exploit the poor.
so there should be rent stabilization. Yes, we can say that, put a cap, because if you live in one municipality, might they go up on rent. New York has, rent stabilization programs, right? Or rent control, as they call it. But in Florida, we don't have that. And so there is no tenants' bill of rights that's national. There is no cap on the percentage that you can increase rent. If a nominal, no more than 7%. We know COLA for 2026 is 2.5%. So if the cost of living allowance is 2.5%, then we should not be going up more than 3% on someone's rent. But of course we want to give people leeway. So we'll say, because they may have had to have 5 repairs, so the landlord does need to make his money. So we'll put a cap, no more than 10%, or whatever the 435 members in the House of Representatives can agree on, or whatever, and the Senate will pass. We do need to have some national regulations on housing in particular, and rental prices overall.
Okay. So what are some of the other ones that you are running on for your platform?
I know, because I'm just long-winded. I'm very passionate about affordable housing and affordable health care.
So 2 of the most important ones. No, those are big deals right now. 100%.
Okay, so since we were talking about affordability, so of course stable energy prices.
Yeah.
But the other things are most important to me are voting rights. Because I believe that every American should have the right to vote, but also veteran services. We know that there is gridlock, if you will, with services for veterans. And so if they serve our country, they deserve to have care.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yes, but a fair living wage. Of course, I also believe that Social Security should not be privatized. We have a senator from this state who wants to privatize Social Security, and it is not an entitlement, and they want to change the name to the federal aid benefit or federal benefit aid. And the reality is it's not an entitlement, and it's not a safety net. It is a safety net, I guess, safety from being, indigent when in your retirement years. But the reality is people pay into Social Security.
Yeah.
So if you work,
they take that out. They
take that out of your check.
Paycheck.
Exactly.
Every 2 weeks or whatever.
Whatever that pay schedule
week,
is.
Whatever
right.
it is.
Yeah, whatever your pay schedule is, it comes out of your check. So the reality is people pay into Social Security, and I do believe that seniors should be secure.
Yeah, big facts. All right, and now, continue on. You got other ones?
Yeah, no. So we talked about affordable housing. We talked about affordable health care. We talked about Social Security, voting rights, veteran services, stable energy prices. Education, technology, and trade. How could I forget that one?
That's a big one. Yeah.
That's a very big one. But you got me off the cuff, right?
Sorry.
So, education, technology, and trade. So I have to tell you, fair disclosure. I'm a 4th generation educator.
Okay.
And education is very important to me. I actually taught economics at Stanton College Preparatory when I graduated from undergrad while I was waiting to start my job at Merrill Lynch. But that was 100 years ago. But the reality is, look, our public schools, in particular in the state of Florida, it ranks number 50. Teachers are paid the least in the state of Florida. And I do believe in a public education. I'm a proud product of a public school. I went to William Mary Raines High School in Jacksonville,
Oh,
and you may
nice.
have heard of them because they just were the state champs.
Oh.
But and Raines boasts the most NFL players in the country.
Oh,
So that's a
wow.
little known fact. But so I'm a very proud Viking. So pardon me. But the other thing is with education, I believe that they've cut Pell Grants, right, and they're also cut so many professions like nurses and physical therapy for getting student loans. And so I believe in a country as rich as ours, people should be able to get an education and not be saddled with debt.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's who you.
I
that-
can get on board with that one.
Yes, yes. But the other thing is, everybody is not college ready or wants to go to college.
Right.
There are a lot of people who are gifted with their hands, right? And so I believe that we should, just like you have programs for college, you should have programs for trade. Right?
Yes,
We should have
yes.
programs for trade. I mean, look, whether or not you want to weld or whether or not you are in technology or if you do HVAC, we all can't live without AC or whether it's plumbing. We should have programs for trade and also for technology. America, I hate to say it, but because I've traveled around the world, America is behind. I know it's not a popular thing, but America is behind in technology. We see, artificial intelligence. And people talk about, AI like it's some new novel idea. Well, I hate to say it. When I was in Japan back in 2000, they had cell phones with television on it in 2000.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, so that's how far advanced they are. So that's why STEM, is so important, but we are behind technologically. And so that's why we have to make sure that we educate our children and make sure we are prepared because we are actually behind.
Yeah, so you would kind of like fight for I actually went to ATC Magnet High. It was Atlantic Technical Center Magnet High in Broward County in
Okay.
Coconut Creek. It was a trade school.
Okay.
So would you? So I basically I did. It wasn't just a trade school. It was an actual high school, and then you went over and got your technical degree in whatever. Would you be for more of those kinds of schools then?
And so so if you're talking about at the secondary level of our high school, I think it's important that children they can engage in purposeful study, right? And so you should prepare them for life. And yes, they should be introduced to all facets of life, but like I stated, everybody cannot go to college. So yes, people should be able to learn the aggregate in when they're in high school. I remember when I was in high school, we had what was called home economics, and so I learned to make a great lasagna with Gail Holly at Raines. I mean, I make a great, I make a great, I make a great lasagna. Of course, I have adapted it to my own because I do a vegetarian, lasagna. But
nice.
yes, with portobello mushrooms and spinach, it's really good.
I love
But notwithstanding any of that, I'm saying that because look, how many people know how to thread a needle if they got a tear in their clothes, right?
me.
So that's what I'm saying. Home economics does that, right? And just prepare people for how to take care of a home because we take so many things for granted, but we learned, we learned during hurricanes. Look, too many people don't know to put the water in the bathtub. I remember telling someone, put water in the bathtub, and she was like, why? I said, because when the lights in the water go off and you need to flush, you need to be able to put water in the toilet. So this is life skills that I think you should have. So I'm not saying trade like it's a bad thing. I'm saying that we should be preparing our students at the secondary level. But I'm saying post high school with trade, just like we give people loans to go to college, we should be I'm not necessarily advocating for loans per se, but we should make sure that people can earn a living. I believe that working families now work very hard. And of course, I'm a member of a union. So of course, unions were the ones who allowed for people to have a day off, right?
Right.
Or allowed for people not to work, 7 days a week, 60 hours a week, or even our child labor laws. So I really believe that one, we have to make sure that whether or not you are going to college, whether or not you are going to trade school, or whether or not you are pursuing a career in some form or some semblance of technology, that you have a fair living wage. And that's why I have that as a part of my platform.
I love it. Beautiful. And now, how do you plan on like implementing all of these ideas?
Okay, so quick civics lesson. There are 435 members in the House of Representatives, and there are 100 persons in the Senate. And in order to get anything passed in Washington, you have to have a majority, right?
Right.
So the way I plan to get things passed in Washington is to be able to talk with people on both sides of the aisle. You have to be able to, one, talk with people on both sides of the aisle, but you need to be able to negotiate, but you also need to understand the law. And I run for Congress because I have all federal experience. I have 23 years of federal experience. Not only did I work on Capitol Hill for Congresswoman Carrie Meek, but my very first job in undergraduate was at the United States Environmental Protection Agency. That was in the Reagan administration, and I was in the inaugural Stay in School program. And so I started my federal career in 1988. Yes.
That was the year I was
yes.
born.
Make me feel old, why don't you?
Sorry.
But yes, I started my career in Washington, D.C. at the headquarters. And back then it was in Southwest D.C. Now, of course, it's on 14th Street Northwest, right across from all of the museums. But, that's how old I am. Look, their headquarters used to be in Southwest Plaza. So I'm a Beltway girl.
Wisdom. It's wisdom.
That's what it is.
Yes, it's wisdom.
Yes,
You're not.
wisdom.
It's not old. That's okay.
Yes, it's wisdom. That's exactly. I love you already. That's what it is. It's wisdom. Yes.
Wisdom, right.
But so that's. I have depth and breadth of federal knowledge, and so there are departmental offices, and so all the time you don't have to necessarily get votes, but look, you have to be able to write policy, and that is my strength. Yes, I am campaigning and getting to meet the people in the 4th Congressional District, but the reality is policy is my strength. You talked about what kind of books I read. The reality is I have published more than 6 municipal regulations in the District of Columbia. You can look it up. So, I used to be the director of the Office of Documents and Administrative Issuances with DC government. And as a result, I was a director, and I published more than 6 municipalities. So 6 municipal regulations. And so and those of you who may or may not know, DC is federal. So I'm sharing that to let you know that, look, I have experience, and we don't have time for a learning curve. We really need, we are in a crisis in this country.
Oh, yes.
Not just a constitutional crisis. I don't know.
Just a crisis.
A crisis. I don't know if you have been paying attention, but this past week, ICE was in the 4th Congressional District.
Yes, I have been paying attention, unfortunately.
Yes, and it pisses me.
I try not to because it's hurt my
mentals. It pisses me off because, one, I negotiated the largest deal in history at U.S. Customs, and ICE, of course, now is a part of Homeland Security, but in this country, we should not be deploying federal agents over American citizens. Whether you are born here or naturalized, you deserve to be able to walk freely down the streets.
Yes.
And if someone wants to raid your home, then let them have a warrant.
Signed by a judge. Not just like a paper.
Not just a paper, right? A signed warrant.
Signed warrant.
Yes.
So that's a big thing.
Yeah, and due process. Look, everyone deserves due process.
Also, stop detaining U.S. citizens. How about we start there?
Diana, I really am enjoying this interview because you get it. You get it. And so it's so very frustrating because, I am not an elected official. That's why I'm seeking to represent the people of the 4th Congressional District, because yes, I would be alerting citizens in the district, and I would be probably the loudest voice saying, look, this is unconstitutional. Look, we need to make sure that people understand the separation of powers. We have an executive branch, we have a legislative branch, and we have a judiciary branch, and they should be independent. And the founders of our country designed it that way. They should not be all encroaching. There's a separation of powers for a reason. But what you're seeing now is, look, people are not respecting the laws. And when I say people, I probably shouldn't call them people, because what they're doing is very cruel, but that is their intention. And when I say there, I mean this administration in the executive in particular.
Yes, for sure. All right. All right, so we're going to get into some questions that we crowdsourced from your possible constituents now, if that's okay.
Yes, that's great.
All right, perfect.
I want to know what they want to know. That's important. I'm seeing I think a good legislator listens.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
important.
People will say, oh, she came to the meeting, she didn't say anything. And I was like, well, no, that wasn't my intent, to hear what's important to the people. And so many, because we've had such bad actors, people have forgotten that a good legislator is a public servant, and they should serve the people and should listen.
I think they lost the plot, honestly, a lot of them, because they think they get into it because you're like, dollar signs.
Yep.
And a lot of it is you get dollar signs once you get up a little higher.
You are preaching to the choir.
You lost the plot, though, because you got into this to help the public. You are a public servant. Servant is the key word.
So, no, we have politicians. And so I would like to say that I'm a public servant and we have politicians. And so and I apply that across the board, even with my campaigning. I don't receive money from big business or special interests, because I don't want to be beholden to the powerful. I want to be beholden to the people.
I love it.
Yeah, I want to be beholden to the people. And so, you'll hear chatter, oh, she can't raise money. It takes money to run. Well, I want you to know that I earned 165,912 votes against Aaron Bean. He spent $900,000 to defeat little old grassroots me, who only had $32,000. And so that's not a lot of money. Yes, commercials cost money, but I'm saying all of that to you to say, yes, ma'am, I agree. We should have campaign finance reform. And look, I will not be one of those people who go to Washington and be beholden to my big dollar donors or to, PACs, because that's why you get gridlock in Washington and people are divided. When I worked on Capitol Hill, I worked for a member who was on the Appropriations Committee, and inside of the members' dining room, look, what you found in the members' dining room was that, people were literally asking which lobbyists were paying for whose grandchild's tuition or whose summer home, when the reality is you have people backing their districts who are not speaking to their neighbors because they were mad that somebody was a Republican or a Democrat or a Libertarian or some no party affiliation, when in fact, look, we should be representing the best interests of Americans, not parties.
Okay, so that's actually one of the questions I have here. So since you said you're not into the PAC, so do you support the APAC? And would you accept money from them if it was on your radar?
Let me say, this is not my first run, and so I have been approached in previous runs. I did not accept it then, and I will not accept it now, because like I said, I want to be beholden to the people and not the powerful.
All right, beautiful. All right, that takes care of that question, actually. All right, so back to the questions from the constituents. You have run 3 times and have been defeated 3 times. What makes you keep coming back?
The love for the people. the love for the people is what made me come back. So some people will run, and when they don't win, they go and they tuck their tail, or they get depressed or mad, and you never hear from them again. Well, I run because I genuinely love the people. You cannot serve the people if you don't love the people, and that's why I keep coming back. You know how I joke with my friends personally. I was like, I'm like a battered woman. It's like the people keep beating me up, and I keep coming back because I love them. And the battered woman that you try and take her to take her to safety, to a domestic violence shelter, and she stays because she's like, but I love him. And that's how I feel with the people of the 4th Congressional District. I love the people. I am a 4th generation Jacksonvillian, and I deeply care about the people. As I stated, I live in Duval County. Look, I have an affinity for Clay County. I mean, I love Green Cove Springs. My grandmother, who I am named after, and I used to go and have picnics in Green Cove Springs. And so I have an affinity for Green Cove Springs. My family has a home in Nassau County, right? I have an affinity for historic American Beach. So I genuinely love the people of the 4th Congressional District. And I know this district like I know my name. And that's why I'm so heavily invested. You cannot get up every day and go 12-hour days the way I do unless you genuinely love the people. And you don't get paid to do this. I spend money out of my own pocket. I mean, I have volunteers, I have to feed them, and you could check the FEC. I don't raise a lot of money, right? And so that's why I ask people to give me small recurring donations, right? So I can at least feed my volunteers. And maybe one day I can get some commercials or some, glossy, what do you call those glossy mailers and all that stuff that my money opponents have. But
those fancy things.
Yeah, those fancy things. Look, so if you see my videos, you can tell they were done on an iPhone.
Well, us too.
No, but I mean, it is what it is. But at the end of the
don't knock on that iPhone camera, though. Honestly, the iPhone videos are great.
Well, I mean, let me say, I have an iPhone, but you have people joking about Android or iPhone. But I will say the lighting I've seen on Androids. My pictures come out a little better on Android than iPhone, but I like iPhone because of its functionality and its ingenuity, because I can sync it with so many of my other products.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so back to the the money that you basically out of your own pocket. What do you say to people when they're like, "Oh, she hasn't raised any money"? What do you say? What's your comeback for that?
Always, money does not vote. People vote. First and foremost, let me tell you, the last 3 presidential elections, guess what? The victor was always the one who was underfunded. So if we go back to this election, Kamala Harris raised $1 billion, and she outraised Trump. She lost the election. You go back to the race before that. That was Biden, right? Guess what? Trump raised more money than Biden. Biden won. Right?
That's probably why he was so salty about it.
Oh, of course. You don't talk about that lack of peaceful transition of power that happened on January 6th that we called an insurrection, but we won't talk about that because then that'll make me want to talk about the idea that we have a president who wants to invoke the Insurrection Act, look, against American citizens, when in fact he didn't invoke the Insurrection Act against many of the people who are a part of ICE, who he pardoned on day one, who are now a part of ICE and wearing masks. But we won't talk about that.
No.
What I am going to talk about,
we digress. No, because
that gets me a little hot.
Yeah,
but
me too. I feel that deep in my soul.
Woosah. Okay, for the camera, right? Woosah for the camera. Ask me the question again before I.
Okay.
Woosah.
Well, you kind of answered that. So it's not money; it's people vote.
Money doesn't vote. People vote. I earned 165,912 votes, being grossly underfunded. Aaron Bean spent $900,000 to defeat me and had 4.5 million in a PAC. I had $32,000 only, and they were all donations from people.
That's impressive.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Yes. So
amazing.
It's not a lot of money, but it's a lot of heart behind it. I had a woman who was unemployed.
Grassroots.
Yes, I had a woman who was unemployed, but she believed in me because she's known me all of all of her life. And she said, Shonda, I don't have any money, but I'm going to give you $5. And she was faithful about those $5. And those $5 mean just as much as the 500.
Absolutely.
But the maximum is 3,600.
Just in case.
Just in case. We need commercials.
Someone has deep pockets. Oh, beautiful. All right. So, do you intend to hold town hall meetings in office and in person?
Can I tell you? Did I tell you I love you today?
Yeah. Yes, but you can tell me all the time.
No,
I like it.
No. But the reason why I'm saying that is because the incumbent, Aaron Bean, not only will not debate me, but he does not have in-person town halls.
He doesn't want to debate you?
No. We sent certified letters. They received it. And, one time, he said, oh, he didn't know. So that's why we sent a certified letter. They received it. We have the receipts. And he will not debate me. But the part that pisses me off is you are an elected official and you should represent all of the people in the district. He only holds a telephone town hall, and on the telephone town hall, they pre-screen you, and then they pre-screen the questions, who they let on the call. With telephone and technology, only so many people can get on the call.
Right.
Well, I not only plan to host town halls in person as well as telephonic. I understand that there will be times where I might be in Washington or there may be a national emergency where I need to have a telephone town hall.
Right.
And our district is far, but I plan to have not only have in-person town hall, but I'd like to alternate where I host them because it's not fair. I do it because I'm campaigning. I go from Nassau to Clay County, but can you imagine going from Bryceville or Hilliard all the way to Keystone Heights?
I am actually not even sure where those other places are.
Okay, well, I'll tell you. Bryceville and Hilliard are in Nassau County.
Okay.
And I will tell you that Keystone Heights and Penny Farms are in Clay County.
Yeah.
And so if you were to drive that, it would take you anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending upon longer, depending upon what time of day. And so I believe that the people in Clay County...
That's a big spread.
Right, and the people in Clay County should not have to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours to hear me in Nassau County. And the people in Nassau County shouldn't have to drive 2 hours to hear me in Clay County or Duval, right? Yes, we know Duval is in the middle, and I'm a native of Duval, but I'm seeking to represent all the people in all 3 counties, and there are 15 cities.
Okay, perfect. All right, so next question would be, how do you feel about being the only person of color in the race, if that's okay to ask?
Let me say... I have to laugh at that because
I'm just
no. I love the fact that I shouldn't say I love the fact. There should be. I think that our
it shouldn't matter.
Well, it does. We have to be realistic. It does to a lot of people. I've been called N word. I've been called B word, and so racism and sexism is real. We can't run from that. We can't hide from that. Racism and sexism is real. But I love the fact that I am the only person of color in race because guess what? Historically, Black women in particular have been last on the totem pole, so we understand all people because we've always had to interact with all people. Of course, men don't, and a white male in particular does not have to be concerned about those things. Mm-hmm. The beautiful part about being the person of color in this race is I can relate to everyone, but bigger than that, whenever there's a mess, traditionally and historically, Black women have cleaned it up. Yeah. And so I'm unapologetic about being an African American woman. I am an African American woman, and I'm very proud of that. But I am not only poised and positioned to represent everyone, because I believe, like I said at the onset of this interview, liberty and justice for all. So I'm seeking to represent everyone, whether or not you are Hispanic, Asian, African American, or if you're Anglo-Saxon. I am looking to represent the people of the 4th Congressional District.
No matter what.
No matter what color you are.
I love it. Thank you. The next question, this is a little bit of a long one.
Okay.
The Democratic Party's approval rating is really low because Democrats are tired of the party's fecklessness and the inability to confront the Trump regime in a forceful way. The candidates are not listening to their constituents. How do you plan on tackling that and gaining the trust back?
I swear I didn't pay her.
Nope, I am definitely not paid.
I swear I didn't pay her.
I'll do this for
But
free.
no, but when I say, I mean, I love you because these are the things that, I mean, I am a Democrat because let's just face it, the majority of African Americans are Democrats. And so most times when people register a party, people live what they learn. And so I registered Democrat as a young person because I love and respect my parents and they were Democrat, right? And the reality is both parties take us for granted. And I tell people all the time, I'm an independent Democrat because I'm not a part of the status quo. The Democratic Party, look, does not embrace me. Why would anybody love this face? But anywho, I will say that I have been the Democratic nominee in 2022 and 2024. I have never received a call from a party chair or anybody in the Democratic Party to say, you know, congratulations on being, you know, the Democratic nominee, or here's $2 for your gas, or here's $2 for some water. I will say to you that I was a Democratic nominee in 2022 and 2024, and as the children say, I got it out the mud. And when I say got it out the mud, I mean I did it on foot. Yes. And in my car, the matter of fact, the truck that I always drove on the campaign trail, look, it died last cycle.
Oh,
It
rest
died.
in peace.
Yes, rest in peace. And I love that truck. But people don't take in consideration the gas and the miles. This district has changed 3 times since I've been running for the seat. So it was this district is gerrymandered.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's, 50% minority. It is gerrymandered. But before then, the district went from Jacksonville to past Tallahassee to Gadsden County. And so imagine the number of miles I put on my card going from Jacksonville to those 16 towns in between getting to Gaston County. So I am saying to you that the reality is this district has changed 3 times with 3 different maps, and much to my chagrin, the people should have a close and contiguous district and have adequate representation.
Okay, so that's how you would gain the trust back to them.
Oh, I forgot the question. Okay, I'm so long-winded. No,
That's okay, I'm bringing it back for you.
No, but you know what? I think how you gain the trust back is being consistent. And if I'm nothing else, I am consistent.
Consistency.
You can go to my childhood, and they will say LJ has always fought for the underdog, right? And so that's just who I am. I mean, look, I'm Christian, and the good book says, take care of the least of these. We're supposed to take care of the orphans and the widows, right? And so I have always been that person. And you can even look at my family. We say it's a right way, a wrong way, and a Holloway. And that's what Holloways do. We look out for people and all people. In my family, my grandmama used to say, we got the Rainbow Coalition because, right, I have every nationality in my family. So, my grandmother used to say, oh, we're the Rainbow Coalition, and we really are. So I look at the heart of a person. That's number one, in the way we build trust. And I can't speak for Democrats, but I can speak for LaShonda LJ Holloway. And the way you build trust is by being consistent.
Okay, I love it. Thank you. All right, so how do you feel about the idea of taking property taxes away? Where do you see them pulling the money from to cover the revenue shortfall?
Okay, well, while that question is not a federal question, because the United States House of Representatives is a federal role, and I plan to represent the people in Washington, that is actually a local question, but I will answer it to the best of my ability.
Okay.
So, first of all, property taxes, we have property taxes to cover services. And because your property taxes cover services like your trash, your local roads, what have you, I realize our property taxes are high. I do believe that there should be a cap on the increase. Same thing, but that is why you should be engaged civically, and people should go to their city council or city commissioner meetings and speak with the people who represent you, because I realize that the economy is down. It's the economy, stupid, right? You've seen the rising costs. You look, remember the last election, it was eggs, and so now it's everything. Everything is high, right?
Right.
And so
And the eggs are still high, FYI.
yeah, and so exactly, but people are catching hell, right? So yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to have their taxes reduced? But the reality is when you cut property taxes, you also cut services. And so, look, while you might enjoy going to the library, or you might enjoy, having a road or having your trash picked up, when you cut property taxes, you cut those services also. And so that's why people should go to their city council meetings or go to their commissioner meetings and or if you can't make it, I understand people work and they have to take care of their children, so they can't run the meetings all the time either. But at least call your representative, email your representative, because they're supposed to represent you. And I mean, I'm a homeowner too. Hell, my property taxes are high. I've been trying to, but they won't let you make a partial payment. So I've been piecemealing mine too. So I understand, but also homeowners insurance is high as hell. Florida has one of the highest homeowners insurances in the country.
Oh, we know.
And so, yeah, I mean, so at the state level, you need to call your state representative. They're in session right now. They started session on January 13th. Call them too.
I'm gonna be honest on that subject. Me and my husband, we moved up here, and I know the property taxes for people up here, they're saying it's high, but we thought it was we got a good deal, honestly, because we just moved up from Lighthouse Point, Florida, which is by the beach, and our property taxes were $10,000.
Well, that's because
and the insurance was $10,000 because it was by the beach.
It's because you were by the water, yes.
Yeah.
And so in real estate, it's location. Mm-hmm. So you were paying for that beautiful view, and and it is expensive. Yeah, I mean, I won't even talk about my family's property taxes in Fernandina Beach, Florida. But
I went up there the other day.
Yeah, and they're high too. But that's what it is. You pay for location. So depending upon where you live, that's where you pay. But listen, 50% of Americans don't even have this problem. 50% of Americans are renting. And the way you build wealth in this country is home ownership. So everyone doesn't have the home. So while we are lamenting, and it's real, the middle class is shrinking because of things like that, right?
Yeah.
But then we also know that there's a whole other segment who doesn't even own, who won't even be able to relate to this segment.
Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly. But where do you think, do you think you would know where they would pull the money from if they did decide to be surprise, we're just not going to have property taxes anymore? Where do you think it would come from?
The people are going to pay one way or the other.
The
people will pay one way or the other. So while they may reduce your property taxes, but then the people will have to pay for trash, or then the people will have to pay for roads.
Oh, it's going to be a la carte for everything.
Exactly. You're going to pay one way or the other. So you might as well
just keep the property taxes.
It's just like taxing the rich. If you're gonna, it's like, what? Why are you gonna burden the bottom half, right? You should, have the property taxes and have a percentage go towards the services. But what Florida is doing is, I won't say usury, because we have reserves in this state, right? So they can cut the property taxes. We have reserves, but it's going towards, their pet projects, the super majority that is in the state legislature. But what we should be doing is taking care of the people. We just saw with this last government shutdown that Florida had a reserve, and we saw even in this state, but they didn't want to use the reserves to feed people, yet they want to raise, taxes. No. I mean, not raise taxes, I'm sorry. I really think it's a political ploy, right? They want to say we cut taxes, but then they'll be taxing you by charging you more for services. Think about the people who have to ride in the HOV lane, right?
Yeah.
Those fees will go up. I mean, so they'll get the money one way or the other. They'll raise your taxes when you are shopping, so they'll get it one way or the other. So don't be fooled.
No, well, I to be honest, I was not,
yeah.
But
Yeah.
Some people might be.
Yeah.
Perfect. That was a beautiful answer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So next question. again, this is a little long one. We can break it. We can
I know,
break it up.
I forgot the second part. It was so long. Okay, good.
Some of these were long, but I just took it from the constituents. So, what is your opinion on specific democratic reform, such as abolishing the Electoral College, abolishing the filibuster, allowing non-party affiliated voters to participate in primary elections? So
Okay.
sorry. So, time out. Nope, we're good. We're okay. All right. Anyways, back to that.
Yeah, because
Okay.
that was a long one, and I don't have a piece of paper. So
no, it's okay.
You asked about
So yeah, what is
filibuster.
okay? I'm gonna start over anyway.
Okay.
That's okay. We're doing this. We're gonna be as real as possible. Okay. So here we are. We kind of fucked up a little bit, but that's all right. No oopsies. There we go. That was one.
F-bombs.
F-bombs.
So I'll tell you, I'm a cursing Christian, so I'm not offended.
Oh, perfect. Because I love cursing.
But look, I will never have an ulcer because I have to get it out, right? So it's better out than in.
You see?
Yeah, better out than in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious about that. I am ladylike when I'm in the presence of a special person, and I'm ladylike, until you provoke me, and you might get a word.
I love it. I love the spice. Okay, back to the questions. What, in your opinion, on specific democratic reform, such as abolishing the Electoral College, abolishing the filibuster, allowing non-party affiliated voters to participate in primary elections, implementing different voting systems like ranked choice voting, and I'll break this down. All right, what is your opinion on abolishing the Electoral College?
So I do believe that we should abolish the Electoral College. I think that the popular vote is why we have our democracy. I think that people will cast their ballots, and when they cast their ballots, the victor wins, provided it's a free and fair election.
Providing, yes.
Yes, provided.
Okay, abolishing the filibuster.
I absolutely think we should abolish the filibuster.
Okay.
Yes, and the last part of your question was about the ranked choice.
Yeah, well, actually, there's a few different ones. Allowing non-party affiliated voters to participate in primary elections.
Okay, so I think that non-party affiliated voters should be able to participate within NPAs because they have a choice. If they want to participate in a primary, if you have the reason why you have a primary is if you have more than one candidate in your particular party. So if you have more than one, so if you're a member of a party, you should be able to vote in the primary for your party.
Okay.
So if you have two people, like at present in the 4th Congressional District, there are two persons who are NPAs. And so those two NPAs should be able to have a primary so that NPAs are able to determine which of those two NPAs can vote during the primary. Yeah.
All right, so but what do you think they should be allowed to vote, say like the non-party affiliate in like a Democrat or Republican, to like they can just go in.
They can register as a Democrat, or if you want to participate in a Democrat or Republican process, then you should register as a Democrat or a Republican. But if you're an MPA and there's two people in your race, then yes, you should have a primary and be able to participate in the process.
What if they didn't?
Well, then if they didn't, then I mean that's the choice you make. That's the beauty of a democracy. You choose and then you vote. Now, so if it was just one candidate in as a Democrat, then there's no primary, right? So Democrats can't vote in the primary if there's only one candidate.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's true.
So that's what it is.
Okay. And finally, implementing different voting systems like ranked choice voting.
And so I don't agree with ranked choice voting because, again, it's just like saying eliminating the Electoral College. Look, one person, one vote in this country, and the popular vote wins.
All right, perfect. All right, we are moving right along.
And it also is, it disadvantages minorities. Minorities would never get elected then if you had ranked choice voting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense, actually. So, do you support democratic socialism?
So explain.
I know you said like you're an independent Democrat.
Right.
So the democratic socialism, like, I don't really have like a good explanation for that. Basically like a Mamdani, like he would be part of the Democratic Socialism Party.
So I don't know what their mission is, but I can tell you that I love Mom Donnie. He's good looking, number one. And of course, his mother produced, look, one of my favorite movies. But notwithstanding any of that, his policies for the people, I think that they are spot on, and clearly the voters agreed because he is now the mayor of New York. And I would not say I align myself with Mom Donnie. I'm saying the personality that he presented, because I've never met Mom Donnie. I don't know him. So when I say I love his personality, I don't know all of his policies, and I don't know what you mean by democratic socialism. So without knowing that mission, I don't want to be pigeonholed to saying on record that, oh, LJ loves socialism, because I don't. I don't know what democratic socialism is. But what I can say is that I absolutely love the people, and I want to govern according to the will of the people, because we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union. It's not perfect, no, but in order to form a more perfect union, I do believe that that starts with listening to the people and the will of the people.
Okay.
And so it's not what LJ thinks, it's really what the will of the people is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Now, we kind of already touched on the ICE a little bit. But can you speak a little bit more on that for your constituents, on like your feelings on what is happening in Minneapolis specifically too?
She's trying to raise my blood pressure. I told her I loved her, but she's trying to raise my blood pressure. So
I do that to people, actually.
So let me just say,
a special skill.
I am pissed. I am beyond pissed because, again, I don't think that, the role of, law enforcement is to protect the people, not to assault the people. But what happened in Minnesota, Renee Nicole Good was, yes, a legal observer. And I will tell you, for the record, I have served as a legal observer, and I also am a peacekeeper, but I haven't been able to wear my white vest. So if you know Hope McMeth, tell her thank you for designing our vest. But the reality is, and I kind of made light of that little part about being a peacekeeper, but it broke my heart to not only see the video, and I will people who know me will tell you one of my strengths is my ability to compartmentalize, but I will tell you, to see a federal officer, one who is coward enough to be masked and to shoot someone in the face point blank, and then, I don't know if you heard the video, say FUB.
Yeah, no, I heard that.
Yeah,
I
so
actually
to say,
cried my eyes out.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was affected. I really was affected because
We're
I
empathetic.
could. Yeah, I am empathetic. I am empathetic, but I am also professional and objective enough to be laser focused on not only policy and the people, but because I am human, I was pissed beyond all passivity to hear him say FUB and to shoot her point blank in the face. That was atrocious, and we don't think about the mental health and the counseling of children who would see that video, right? But also the fear that people will have of law enforcement, and that's exactly why they have their mask on, and that's exactly what they're doing. Their aim is to institute fear in the American people, but the reality is, look, she was somebody's daughter, she was someone's wife, and she was the mother of a child. Right. You hear me? So you have all of those people who are affected, and she is no longer here. So to the family of Renee Nicole Good, I want to say you have my deepest sympathy. And for those elected officials who have not sent condolences to their families, shame on you, because it was America that killed her. It was federal agents masked as ICE that killed her. So yes, I'm pissed beyond all passivity, and I think that we should abolish ICE, and they should not be allowed to wear masks.
Okay, no, I agree with that 100%. I understand.
I'm sorry, your question was about Minnesota, and so let me also say, because in this country, and because this is big for me, liberty and justice for all also Keith Porter was killed by ICE. We have seen people in Minnesota be dragged out of cars. And I don't know if you saw, there was a family. It was a husband and wife, and they had 4 children. They were leaving their son's basketball game, and their 6-month-old baby, could not breathe and was foaming at the mouth because ICE put a tear gas in their car. So of course we know that America has heard about Renee Nicole Good, but the media is not talking about Keith Porter, who was killed by ICE. Most people don't even know about it, right? You don't hear about Keith Porter. And
with the eye too, he got shot in the eye.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's so many egregious deaths, and we see people who are being detained and not given due process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's honestly, I feel like they're just making a spectacle of it purposely.
Exactly. It's because it's this administration's Gestapo.
Don't even. I will fight you. I will fight. Like, honestly, that's how I feel.
But but I know, and you were saying that you will fight, but really, if they were to come in here right now and take me or you,
I'll go down fighting.
No, I'm going down fighting. No. But what I'm saying though is, one, will your family know where you are or where to start looking for you? And in this state in particular, in this county where we are sitting, they are looking to have detention centers, in 2 counties that abut this county. So they are looking to have one in Bradford County, and Bradford County is right next to, as a matter of fact, when I was in law school, I interned in Bradford County at the Public Defender's Office. But Bradford County is right next to Clay County, and they are going to have a detention center in Bradford County, right, to detain people in this state, 1 county over from this one.
Wow. I guess because they couldn't get that, what was it, Camp Blanding?
Right.
They couldn't do it here.
Right, they couldn't do it, because the people protested in Gyra in particular, so shout out to Gyra. Power to the people.
Perfect. I love it. All right. Before we both get heated, overly heated, we got one more question. And it is, to be frank, we know that there are racial differences in the South. How do you plan on tackling some of these biases?
And so, at the end of the day, people have biases. They're going to have those biases. And so I think it coincides with your prior question, people have to trust you, right? Mm-hmm. So I was an executive with LexisNexis, right? And so my team was multicultural, and when I became President's Club and Circle of Excellence, I remember getting an all-expense paid trip to Spain, and I took my team, and when people start drinking, the truth comes out. And so I had that truth serum. I had this guy on my team, and he said it. He was Albanian, and he said, I never thought that we would go so far because, I've never seen, a black woman as a manager, but you're the best manager I ever had. And so I would hope that the people in the 4th Congressional District would say, this is the best legislator we have ever had.
I love it. Thank you.
Because I'm seeking to represent everyone.
Right. Absolutely. All right. So we're going to be wrapping this up now.
Okay.
But thank you so much for joining us on Clay County Speaks. Mm-hmm. We dove into some really interesting topics, and we had some good laughs. Mm-hmm. And just one F-bomb, okay? Just one. I did. All right. We didn't get crazy with it.
I don't hold it against you because, like I said, I'm a cursing Christian, and yes, they say a blessing and a curse can't come out of the same mouth, but God knows my heart, and in my family, it's a joke because I say I have the heart of Peter, Paul, and Mary, right? And so Peter will cut your ear off, right? And he ended up having the keys to the gate, right? So we all have redeeming qualities, and I'm a sinner. I'm not so righteous that you can't use an F-bomb in front of me, and if you piss me off, I might use one in front of you.
That's fair. F-bomb is deserved every now and then.
And sometimes, and I have an extensive vocabulary, but sometimes
Sometimes it's just the proper word to use. It's strong.
Yes.
It gets the point across.
Yeah, but children are watching. So children, it's not a good habit. It is something I need to work on and a habit I need to break.
But we're all people.
Yeah,
we're normal people.
Yeah. I mean, I'm human. I mean, and so I mean, I need to have more vegetables, right? But my schedule does not allow me to make more vegetables. But before we say goodbye, though, can I have an opportunity to tell the people how they can follow me to make sure?
Oh, absolutely. That was actually my next little thing I was going to say. But yep, go right ahead.
All right, so I'd like to say to the listening audience, please follow me on all of the socials. Make sure I walk it like I talk it. Too many times people ask you for your votes and they come with this rhetoric and they don't have receipts. But I invite you to not only follow me, but look, you can go back to my childhood and you will find that not only am I consistent and courageous, but I'm also competent. Look, like I stated, I have 23 years of federal experience, and we need people who are competent and who can hit the ground running on day one. Like I said, I worked on Capitol Hill for a member who was on the Appropriations Committee, and I can walk in the Capitol from the Rayburn House Office building or from the Cannon House Office building backwards, underground in the tunnel, or up top on the street to the Capitol with my eyes closed. And I'm not saying there won't be a learning curve, but the learning curve won't be that steep.
Beautiful. Any other final thoughts?
For a better day, vote LJ Holloway. LaShonda LJ Holloway on the ballot.
Yeah.
On the ballot.
Just in case anyone was confused.
That's right.
Okay, well, I just want to thank our listeners and everyone who is going to be tuned in to watch this. Again, if you like what you see, please like, share, comment, subscribe. On all of the socials. We need to get word out. We need to get this Clay County Speaks podcast out and off the ground. So it takes you and everybody else who's watching this video, just little buttons at the bottom. Just click away. But until then, stay tuned for some more amazing podcasts that we actually have some scheduled for upcoming. And until next time, okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you for having me.